Welcome to this video introduction to using the Design the Law Nepal Legal Design Toolkit. Here we will introduce ourselves and the key aspects of this toolkit that deals with sexual and reproductive health rights, or SRHRs in Nepal. There is also a detailed manual with the toolkit available for users. I'm Mara Malagodi and I'm here with Emily Olbon and Sabrina Germain. We each bring something different to the project. For me, it is my constitutional focus. For Emily, her knowledge and practical experience of legal design. And Sabrina brings the essential medical law component.
Hello, I'm Sabrina. Our project is a collaboration between the School of Law at the University of Warwick, the City Law School at the University of London, iProbono, and the Law and Policy Forum for Social Justice, or LAPSOJ.
Hi, I'm Emily. You can see the names of our other contributors on the screen. We are gratefully funded by Roll UK.
Why is this toolkit needed? Nepal is one of the world's leading jurisdictions with respect to the constitutionalization of reproductive rights. However, while the country's law in books in matters of SRHRs appears groundbreaking and innovative, the country's law in action in this area tells a rather different story. Implementation of SRHRs in Nepal remains uneven and often ineffective, especially for poor and historically marginalized groups and those in the more remote areas of the country. The toolkit is the result of a number of workshops carried out both in person in Nepal and online since 2018. We applied human-centered design to all our work. This means that we tied our thinking and therefore the development of all the parts of the toolkit to the lived experience of users.
The toolkit is a set of visual instruments built on the basis of comparative legal analysis and design principle that we wish to place in the hands of different stakeholders working in the field of sexual and reproductive health rights in Nepal. We envisage it helping stakeholders foster SRHR and improve access in two distinctive yet complementary ways. 1. The toolkit will help stakeholders understand sexual and reproductive health rights better from a variety of perspectives, including those outside of their specific professional training and area of practice. 2. It will be a useful instrument for stakeholders to help service users access their sexual and reproductive health rights more effectively.
Navigating the user manual for the toolkit is straightforward. The introduction section covers the background to the project and the process we followed to create the toolkit. This is where you can find out all about legal design and human-centered design thinking. Then there's a section dedicated to each of the components in the toolkit, telling you what they are, how to use them, and sharing some ideas on how different professionals might deploy them within their work. The table of contents at the front lets you jump ahead to what most interests you. We finish up with some details on how we hope to extend the toolkit with further inclusions.
We were really inspired to take on this project by two landmark decisions from Nepal Supreme Court, the Prakash Mani Sharma and Lakshmi cases. These groundbreaking cases on SRHR and abortions are public interest litigations that successfully activated Nepal's constitutional rights and gave an expansive interpretation of sexual and reproductive health rights. We wanted to ensure that everyone had a chance to understand what is the decision meant for the people of Nepal, so we storyboarded how these cases might be visualized. These short 6-page comics were brought to life by the amazing Nepali artist Kripa Joshi, who created the famous Miss Moti comic.
So who are the different stakeholders and how can they use this toolkit? If you're a lawyer, we see these case explainers as a useful tool to share with your clients, to show them that the law exists to help them. We also see them being used for training purposes, helping junior lawyers understand the importance of these sexual and reproductive health rights. If you're a law teacher, we see the case explainers as a teaching tool within your classes, firstly around SRHRs and their socioeconomic context, but also to prompt discussions on the value of diverse and inclusive ways of communicating the law. For law students, they give insight into the key principles of reasoning within judicial decisions and also help you develop conference skills. For judges and judicial officers, the explainers have value contextually to set out the decisions in terms of the socio-cultural and economic barriers for service users to the realisation of these sexual and reproductive health rights. They can also be used to activate thinking on how judgments in different formats could make a difference to public understanding of the law. For medical practitioners, the explainers can be used as advocacy tools during consultations with government officials and official bodies, but also within a training context. Finally, for civil society actors, they can be deployed as advocacy tools and to raise public awareness. Let's have a look at a few examples from the toolkit. These are some images from the abortion case explainer on the Lakshmi case. Feel free to pause the video and look at some of Creeper's illustrations in more detail. And here are some from the uterus prolapse explainer on the Prakash Mani Sharma case. And a few more. The persona cards represent 6 fictional characters created by our 2019 workshop participants. They are a tool for sparking further discussions, giving you a detailed and specific individual to base further exploration on. Its purpose is to ensure empathy, that you always keep in mind a realistic person with a set of interests, a particular background, specific motivations, named challenges and explicit pain points. For lawyers, they assist you in empathising with your client, ensuring that you're prioritising their specific needs. They have use in relation to training junior lawyers in your firm, as well as for advocacy purposes. As with the case explainers, for law teachers and law students, these personas will be a helpful tool within the classroom. They will help explain the SRHR landscape, including the key authorities on SRHRs, and the importance of the socio-economic context of these rights. They will help students adopt a client-centred approach and see the value in different ways of communicating the law. They'll be a fantastic prompt for diverse in-class learning activities. For judges and judicial officers, the personas will have a similar purpose to the case explainers: contextualisation, impact and advocacy, as well as activating thinking on how the judicial process impacts different court users, depending on their identity and background. Within medicine, they can be used in training of medical students to foster empathy and destigmatise abortion services. They can be used with abortion seekers to help them identify appropriate pathways to obtain a safe and legal abortion too. For civil society actors, the persona cards are excellent tools for advocacy, for training and for raising public awareness. Here's the rest of Phul Kumari's persona. We see a focus on her user needs, how she might seek information to address her problem, and the pain points for her. Feel free to pause here to read the content properly if you like. Currently, we have one legislation explainer covering the Safe Motherhood and Reproductive Health Rights Act 2018. This was designed to offer a concise and simplified overview of the key provisions of the Act, communicating via accessible language and powerful images those sections that directly impact Nepalis in their realisation of their sexual and reproductive health rights. For lawyers, we see this part of the toolkit as being helpful for communicating with clients, as well as a solid training tool for junior lawyers within your firm. Within universities, law teachers can use these to help demonstrate the key statutory provisions on sexual and reproductive health rights to their students, as well as understanding the legal and non-legal barriers that service users face in accessing services and realising those SRHRs. Their unique visual style will also get your students thinking about diverse and inclusive ways of communicating the law, especially to those who might struggle to understand it via traditional channels. For judges and judicial officers, this part of the toolkit will help spark conversations about how the historical development of sexual and reproductive health rights has impacted on the adjudication of these rights, as well as giving the chance to consider the impact such novel ways of communicating the law can have on citizens. For medical practitioners, the legislation explainer can be used for communicating with patients, as well as being included in the ethics curriculum within medical school and for training those new to the profession. As with other elements, for civil society actors, the legislation toolkit will assist with advocacy work and with raising public awareness of Nepal's statutory provisions. Here you can see some of the graphics taken from the legislation explainer.
Our workshops in Nepal in April 2024 led to consideration of supplementary elements to our toolkit, and these are now in development. We hope you find value in our toolkit, and please do let us know what you have found effective and what you didn't. And indeed, if you find any new ways in which the toolkit can be used. Thanks for listening.